Yeah. Now, Stan Richardson has suffered under the surgeon's knife.
Don't take me off the violent patient scheme now. I was going to commit suicide and I'll come down your practice and do it in front of you. I'm asking you, why you found it necessary to bring a riot van?
Because, sir, I'm driving that because there is no other vehicle available for me to drop.
You're supposed to be protecting us, not him. Yeah?
We went to Poland in the summer of 2012. They diagnosed Stan with exactly the complaint that Stan has been saying over the last 10 years, that the doctors here in the UK have been ignoring.
Now the surgeon who did this, his name's Nikos Riessis, or Nikos Reissis. And he's also been in court for malpractice, where a woman lost her leg because of him. One guy had an operation on his ankle when he didn't need it, but Mr. Reissis had lied about the x-rays. 15 other charges were taken into account, and Mr. Reissis was let off with a warning.
Yeah. Now, Stan Richardson has suffered under the surgeon's knife. His case highlights what happens when things go wrong. Stan joined us in the studio to talk about his case, which started in medical negligence and resulted in years of pain. His attempt to get to the bottom of all this resulted in Stan being labelled mentally ill and put on the violent patients register. Hello, Stan.
Hello there, Mark.
Hi. So how did this all start?
Right, well, it goes back quite a long time to 1985 when I had my first spine operation following a parachute jump that I did.
Yeah.
I did the parachute jump in 1982, and I was working at the time as a glazier, fixing large shop windows, big chunks of glass, so there was a lot of weight to lift. And I was working for 2 years with a fractured spine because they were misdiagnosing me, sending me to psychiatrists and saying I was imagining it, this kind of stuff. And then in 1985 they realised, after doing a myelogram, that I had a fractured spine, and they performed a mass fusion. And that entailed taking a lump of bone off my hip and basically turning it into a paste, and then they wedged that in between your vertebrae.
Yeah.
But it hasn't fused. I've later found out from second opinions that I've had. This just made my back even worse, and in 1989 I had to go under the knife again with another spine operation for a discectomy.
All right.
That didn't do any good either. I had to give up work after that.
And you were on painkillers by this point?
I was on every painkiller in the book, Mark.
Yeah.
And then somebody said to me, Stan, if you keep taking all this crap, you know, it's going to kill you. You need to get something cleaner off that doctor. So I mentioned this to my doctor, yeah, and he put me on MST, telling me this is the cleanest stuff we can give you. I didn't know what it was. It turns out it was morphine sulfate tablets, slow release. Now this was in 1990. They started me off on 10 milligrams every 12 hours. Mm-hmm. 9 years later, I was on 300 milligrams every 12 hours, and I'm still in pain. Also, during those 9 years, I had 9 epidurals, all of which went horrifically wrong. Apart
which
from
is
one.
an injection to the spine?
It's no. It's a catheter. It's it's like a pump, morphine pump, with a catheter that goes up and inside into your spine, and they leave that. They put that in me for a few days. It's supposed to break the cycle of the pain that I was suffering. Mm. But every one of them went horrifically wrong. I don't want to go into all those situations at the moment.
But we've got a background here that led to this negligence.
But the final epidural I had left me with a spine infection. Yeah. And I was actually sent home with this epidural in my back. I later found out you're not even supposed to get out of bed, let alone get in a taxi and go home. In 1999, I've been on this morphine now for 9 years.
Yeah.
And I decided enough's enough, because I've got enough problems with my back problem. The morphine wasn't curing the pain, it was just an additional problem. Because now, like, if I don't get my, more often than not, they wouldn't prescribe them on time, so I'd have to keep going through days of the odd cold turkey, the shakes and all that, because it's an addictive drug, you know. So I decided enough's enough and made a plan for myself to get off this stuff, which I did. It took me 3 months to come off of it. I didn't sleep for 2 weeks. I nearly went insane. And but once I came through this, I got over this hurdle. I stopped taking it. It was like it's like waking up from a 9-year coma. I stopped eating meat. I stopped drinking alcohol. I started swimming, cycling. Couldn't do any weight-bearing exercises like I wanted to, but I couldn't. And I got myself swimming 3 miles a week. Three times a week I'd go, and I'd do a mile each day, every other day. And on alternative days I'd be on my bike cycling. And I was getting myself quite, you know.
So once you got off the drugs, you felt a lot better, basically.
Oh,
yeah.
It was like being reborn.
Yeah, but then what happened? Because
then,
your case actually took another turn then, didn't it?
Yeah, a bit of bad luck. I'd gone swimming one day, cycled to the swimming pool, and I was cycling home after my swim when a big truck came past me and sent me into the curb, and I went flying over my handlebars. I was rushed to the hospital, local hospital, the same hospital where they'd done my back, and I was told that I'd sprained my shoulder. I injured my shoulder and I haven't done my knee. It's still messed up now, my knees. And they just said I've got a sprained shoulder. Now all I was interested in was how quick can I get back in the water, because my thing was swimming. You know, that was my addiction now, was swimming. And they said, oh, you know, as soon as it settles down a bit, you can go swimming. So I started going swimming as soon as I could. But it got worse and worse and worse, and I'm thinking no pain, no gain. I kept pushing myself because I wanted to get back to where I was. And it just got so bad that I collapsed.
So it wasn't a sprain?
No, far from it. Anyway, so I went back to my then GP and said, look, I'd like to get a second opinion, and he refused. So I went back the next day and saw a different doctor in the same practice and asked him for a second opinion, and he accepted it. But the first doctor didn't like the fact that I'd gone back again, so they threw me out of that practice on the strength of this. But anyway, they sent me to a different hospital for a second opinion, and their doctor just took one look at it. He said, you've ruptured your clavicle. That's before you even x-rayed it. Because you can see the bone poking out the top of my shoulder.
But they previously x-rayed it and said you had a rupture, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, a sprain.
Yeah. Anyway, so then they x-rayed it and confirmed it is ruptured. But they don't normally like to operate on a ruptured clavicle for some reason. It's a 50-50 thing, you know. They like to let it see if it'll settle down on its own. Anyway, while I'm waiting for it to settle down, my treatment stopped. You know, they sent me some physio, which made it worse. And then eventually I had to keep making new appointments, and I was just getting swapped from one doctor to another, and it was like going nowhere. And this went on for 3 years. And my life was being destroyed now because I couldn't function. I was in so much pain, and being told. And eventually, it was like it didn't happen. It was like, you know, these doctors was. I'm imagining it now.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, after 3 years, in 2001 November, which is now 3 years after I'd stopped taking the morphine, right? So I was coping with all this without the morphine as well. I went to that local hospital who originally misdiagnosed me and spoke to the manager. And I said to him, look, if you don't fix my shoulder, or someone fixes my shoulder, I said, I'm going to have no option, but I'm going to have to take my life. Because that's where I was at this point. I was desperate. And he could see this, and he didn't know me, this manager, because he'd just started there. He was a new manager at the hospital. So he said to me, like Mr. Richardson, he said, if you give us the opportunity, we'll be. He said there has been a lot of cock-ups. I'll admit that. He said, but we'd like to put it right.
So, but really, you could actually say that it was misdiagnosis before this point, couldn't you? Mm-hmm. You know, with the shoulder, you could actually say that was from their perspective. They could say, well, we misdiagnosed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't negligence at this point.
No.
Let's carry on, Stan, yeah.
Well, it could have been. They might have misdiagnosed it deliberately, for all I know.
Well, we don't know that.
No, I know.
Just tell us what happened next. Yeah.
Anyway, so he said to me, if you give us the opportunity, we'll try and put it right for you. Fair enough. He pulled the strings and he got me another assessment with another surgeon who agreed that I need the surgery. I need a routine clavicle repair. Okay, so they've taken me into this hospital to do a routine clavicle repair, which would be to shave the piece off the end of the clavicle, because it was up here, and push it back down basically. And then they was going to check out, have a look at my knee. They was going to do an arthroscopy simultaneously. So 2 operations, the same. So when I was in the hospital, they brought me in. And while I'm waiting to go down for the surgery, one doctor came up to me and drew an arrow on my knee where they're going to put the camera in.
Right.
And then he walked off again. I said, well, hang on, where are we going? He said, oh, we'll be up to take you in a little, down to do your knee in a little while. I said, well, I'm in here for my shoulder, mate. I said, the knee's a favour. I asked for that extra. He went, oh, I've got nothing here about your shoulder. Oh, here we go. It only took me 3 years to get in here and they still can't get it right. Anyway, so I had a word with the manager's secretary and she said she would sort it out. And then another guy came up and drew an arrow on my shoulder. And he went, oh, you've got a lot of records here, haven't you? I said, yeah, I know, mate. I said, a lot of cock-ups have been happening. I said, but I'm only here to give it all another chance, I said, because the manager's asked me to. I said, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't got a lot of faith in it anymore, mate. It's taken me 3 years to get in here, Anyway, off he goes. Next thing, the manager turns up. He said, right, they're not operating on you now. I said, what? He said, they're not operating on you. I said, why? He said, because somebody overheard you say you've got no faith in us. He said, and secondly, we don't think it's necessary. I said, well, so what's going to happen now then? He said, well, you've got to be out of this hospital by midday tomorrow. This was on a Friday, November 2001. I said, well, I'm not going anywhere until you fix my shoulder. Well,
Did you actually say that, Stan?
What?
That you had no faith in them?
Yeah, but I was just talking in general to this guy. I was chatting with him. So I ain't got no faith in it, mate. I said, it's taken me 3 years to get in here.
Oh, I see. So it was an off-the-cuff remark.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't,
Yeah, you didn't actually go and storm into someone's office and go, I have no faith in you whatsoever.
No, not at all. Not at all. Anyway, so he said to me, you've got to be out of this hospital by midday tomorrow. I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. You've got to fix my shoulder. I said, it's taken me 3 years to get in here. I'm not going to walk out of here like that. Or you can get me a second opinion. Anyway, the next morning, the manager came up to me and said, right, Mr. Richardson, he said, we're going to get you your second opinion. He said, you better listen to him. That's how he spoke to me. You better listen to him. I went, whoa. I said, what if I'm right and you're wrong then? Because I know I'm right. There's no question about it. He said, if you're right and we're wrong, we'll pay for you to have it done privately. I thought, that's all right. Sounds fair enough. Sounds like a reasonable offer, doesn't it? So anyway, so they got this guy over from Watford General Hospital. I can't mention his name, can I? I'd like to, but I can't.
Well, he's actually been called up before, hasn't he?
Big newspaper article about him, done for malpractice.
They describe it as bungled operations, which actually makes it sound like some kind of comedy thing, really, doesn't
well,
it?
he makes a habit of it, apparently. Yeah. Anyway, he agreed that I needed surgery, so I'm about to leave the hospital, and I said to the manager, I said, well, are you going to stand by your word now? Are you going to pay for this to be done privately? So they had to agree. But unbeknownst to me, the following day, it was written in my medical notes by my GP, it stated, Mr. Richardson is a known morphine addict. He is not classed, and he's classified as not medically genuine. And if he requires any home visits, do not feel obliged to visit him. Now this was written the following day, after they just agreed to put me in a private hospital. But I didn't know this was written till 4 years down the line. Anyway, 2 weeks later, I'm in a private hospital. Can I mention the name of the hospital? In Harrow, anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Private hospital in Harrow.
Okay.
To have a routine clavicle repair and an arthroscopy to my knee.
Yeah.
When I woke up from the surgery, he said, right, Mr. I've got to tell you something. He said, you've had major surgery. I said, what? He said, you've had major surgery. So what are you talking about? He said, right, he said, not only have we shaved a piece off the end of your clavicle and pushed it back down, he said, your shoulder was full of arthritis, we scraped it all out. He said, you had a partial thickness tear to your supraspinatus tendon. Now, do you know what that is?
No idea.
Can I just explain that for people who don't know? The supraspinatus tendon is a big tendon that comes up across your shoulder blade. It goes under the clavicle and it attaches to the ball joint of your arm. It's what pulls your arm in to your body.
Yes.
Right? It's like an elastic that keeps it there.
So without that, your shoulder would just fall down. Yeah.
Which it did.
Yes.
Anyway, so he said, and your knee had 2 tears in the cartilage, and we scraped all that out because it was full of arthritis as well. Now, it's funny, because the last 3 years they've been telling me there's nothing wrong with me. So, well, how come suddenly I've got all this wrong with me, yeah? And anyway, so I'll get sent home a few days later, and I was bedridden for about 2 or 3 weeks before I tried to get out of bed. The first time I sat up, my shoulder just dropped and my neck went into complete spasm. I was bedridden for 6 months. I couldn't get out of bed, right? But I couldn't get a doctor out to see me because it was written in there, do not feel obliged to visit him because he's not medically genuine, he's just a morphine addict. But I didn't know that was there. See, this.
No,
so this
is where you got your records years later.
The problems this caused, you wouldn't believe, all right? Anyway, so for the next 3 years, I'm stuck like this, unable to get any treatment. So I went to my GP, then GP, and he said, look, my shoulders collapsed. I said, my neck, I can't move my head. I was completely seized up. And this was a new doctor. And he just looked at me and said, you're always argumentative and aggressive, you are, aren't you?
Is that because of what they'd written about you?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. And I sort of knew I'd been blacklisted, but I didn't have any evidence, but until this point. And now, this is the first time I've met this doctor. I was in tears. I was a broken man in his chair begging for this man to help me. And he just sat there, he wrote a prescription out for some painkillers. I said, no, I don't. I said, I've got loads of them, I don't need them. I said, I want it investigating. And then he said, you're always argumentative and aggressive, you are, aren't you? I said, what? I wasn't even arguing with him, I was just asking him to help me.
We did try and get a comment today from the people involved, but they weren't available.
Yeah, but this doctor, I was in no state to argue with him. I wasn't going to, I could see what was going on. It was blatant. I said to him, where are you getting this from? Because we're not arguing. I said, what do you mean I'm argumentative and aggressive? He said, it's on my computer. So he's not saying this, he's just reading this on the computer. Yeah. Anyway, I thought, I'm not having none of this, I can't argue with him. So I got up and I walked out the door. And as I walked out the door, I turned around and I said to him, I'll be seeing my solicitor about this. And that was it. That was the threat I made. That was the threatening behaviour. Of course, the next morning I got my letter, you've been removed from this practice. All right, so I'm thinking, right, okay, I'm going to take this complaint, I'm going to complain now, I went up to the Ombudsman, all that, and didn't get anywhere. Then I got, no, that's right, then they wrote to me to say that we're not going to take on your complaint due to the fact that the police were called to an incident at your doctor's.
Which was when they said you'd stolen the epidural and the...
No, this is where I've just walked out and said to him, I'm going to see my solicitor. That's what I've done.
Oh, so the police were called then?
No, they weren't. Right. This is a lie.
Got you. Okay, right. just for the sake of the viewers, yeah.
I couldn't believe this. So I thought, and I was bedridden at the time, I couldn't go out, I couldn't go down the police station. So I phoned up the local police station, and I got this officer on the phone and explained to him that I've got this letter saying that you were called out to my doctor's on said date. I said, can you check the records to see if this happened? He said, well, I'm not really meant to do this without you being here. He said, but you sound genuine, I'll have a look for you. So off he goes and checked the records, come back, he said, no, there's nothing here about us coming out. I said, well, they've written it down. They've said that you got called out to an incident. He said, no, it sounds to me like they're just trying to discredit you to get you off their books, he said, because that's what they do. I said, well, what should I do about it then? He said, well, if I was you, I said, write back to them, ask him what was the officer's name, what was his number, what time did he turn up, what was his number plate, all this list of questions. He said, see what they come back with. So I did. And then I got a letter back of a report where they had gone to the police station 8 days after I walked out of this doctor's to make a complaint that I was threatening and abusive. It took them 8 days to report this. So this is the doctor and the PCT working together. And on the strength of this, all they need to do, because what they do is they can make up any accusation.
PCT is a public care trust, is it?
Yeah. But now I'm allocated to this doctor at the Icke Medical Centre under the Violent Patients Scheme. Right?
So all of it, it's escalated now, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. But it gets better.
Yeah.
So I'm under this other doctor now, and the first time I met him, I said to him, I don't know what you've been told, I said, but what I've been accused of here, I said, I'm innocent, and I will prove my innocence. And he just looked at me, I'll never forget what he looked me straight in the eye. He said, oh no, you won't. But he also claims to be a senior police surgeon, so that's where his links are with the police. And all the time I was with this guy, I was writing letters to claim my innocence. I wasn't told that there was no mechanism for appeal. It took me about 4 years to find that out. There was no mechanism for appeal. Even the courts can't do this, right? But they can get you on the Violent Patients Scheme simply by getting a CAD number. So they can say what they want about you.
CAD number, just explain that.
You can phone up a CAD number. It's like a report that somebody's made a complaint about you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
You can do this to anybody. Anyone can do this. Phone up oh, so-and-so...
That's the scary thing about your case, I think, because you'd been labelled and you didn't even know it.
That's
and
right.
That's why you couldn't get treatment.
That's right.
That's the whole point of your case, of why it's so unjust, in the fact that you were accused of something that you didn't do, and that prevented you getting treatment. And it looks like it does look from the outside like a conspiracy. The individual people have been asked to comment. We haven't been able to get in touch with them today, but there is evidence of the surgeon who operated on you. He has been guilty of
malpractice.
Malpractice, but they describe it as bungling, you know, which sounds less serious.
Can I just tell you about that little, what happened with him? He was found guilty in 2010, whereby a woman lost her leg because of him. One guy, he operated on his ankle when he shouldn't have done, but he had lied about the X-rays. 15 other charges were taken into account. And now you'd think he'd been struck off for that, wouldn't you? But no, they let him off with a warning on a 5-year review. All right? There are other cases pending that I'm aware of, so he makes a habit of this. But my thing is this: I've since found out that what he told me that he did to me about fixing my shoulder, he didn't do that. That was all a lie. Because I've since been to Poland to get the truth about this. I've been to see a private surgeon in Poland. I've got scans done. And the surgeon told me, he said, I've still got a tear in the supraspinatus tendon. He said, but this was a new one on me. The tendon where it joins the ball joint of your arm has completely come away, which is why my shoulder's dropped. My arm, if you look at my X-rays, you can see my arm...
I think we've got the X-ray, if we can flag that up, if we can get the X-ray onto the screen.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because my arm is not connected to my body, skeletal-wise.
I've seen those X-rays.
Just by flesh.
Yeah.
Are we going to that?
Yeah, we probably will, but just let's carry on,
And anyway, so yeah, but I found out that what he actually did to me was amputate my clavicle.
So this guy amputated your clavicle and took it out?
He's amputated half of my clavicle.
Half of it.
He's removed all the ligaments and part of the subscalpular. So basically all the mechanism that supports your arm has been removed.
And this guy's still operating on people despite numerous bungled operations?
Yeah. So as a result of this, the weight of my arm, which should be taken by my shoulder, is being taken by my neck. And I've been diagnosed now with having 4 collapsed vertebrae in my neck.
Any fracture is there, but there...
Well, you're saying it's not been fractured at all?
There, no. But there...
Yeah, my neck.
Between the 2nd and the 5th vertebrae, there is sort of narrowing of the spaces.
Well, I've got 3 collapsed discs, I know that for a fact.
That's what is causing all this problem.
So 3 collapsed discs, would you say?
Yeah.
So it's 3, 4.
So basically you started off in pain and ended up in agony, and you've been put on the violent patient scheme.
Yeah, I've been persecuted, victimised, character assassination, and now I can't even get a doctor. I've been denied any treatment whatsoever. This is why I've been recording them. I've been secretly recording them for years now.
We have got a video of a visit you made to the practice.
Yeah.
I think we're going to show that.
Okay.
But, so what's the next step, Stan? What are you going to do?
I've got no idea. The guy in Poland said to me that I need at least 3 major operations just to fix my shoulder.
Yeah.
So they need to reattach the tendon to my shoulder, to the ball joint of my arm, which he wasn't even sure they could do. I need possibly a prosthetic clavicle.
Yeah.
And then...
This is after, just to draw your attention to this, this is after you were thrown out of the medical practice recently.
This is me going to my doctors to try and get a referral to see a surgeon. And this is what they do. Hello there. Hello. Oh, how's that? Yeah, I'm trying to get to see a doctor.
How have you been banned because you're not working here anymore?
Well, apparently they've got no paperwork to say so.
They don't need to.
Oh, yes, they do. You need a copy, he needs a copy, and I need a copy.
Private premises.
Can you show us evidence that I'm barred, please?
It's a private
legal evidence.
It's a private premises, sir. He's asking you to leave.
Well, that's not until you've seen this piece of paper first.
He's asking you to leave. Are you going to leave?
Not until I've seen a piece of paper to prove that lawfully I'm barred from here.
He doesn't need to show you.
Yes, he does. You need a copy, he needs a copy,
Are you going
and I
to
need
leave?
a copy. I do not stand under your authority.
Are you going to leave?
I'm waiting to see a doctor.
Can you request to leave?
What's happening is unlawful. This is unlawful, what's happening. This is completely unlawful.
Listen to what this gentleman's saying.
Sorry? And can I see your legal document to prove it? Are you going to manhandle me? I'm disabled, mate.
Well, we're going to walk carefully.
Sorry, but you're manhandling me. Right, this is assault, okay? Now I'm being assaulted. Am I under arrest?
No, you're being ejected.
So why are you assaulting me then?
You're being ejected from the premises.
Why are you assaulting me then?
You can leave now, sir.
Why are you assaulting?
You can leave now, sir.
Why are you assaulting me now?
Are you
You
reasonable force to eject you from the premises?
Right, it's your duty, right, to protect and serve the members of the public.
I know what my duty
Do you
is.
understand that? Now, you've just assaulted me.
Would you
Yes,
like
I
to
am
leave the
recording this
premises?
conversation.
Would you like to leave the premises, sir? You've been lawfully ejected
Can I
using
take your
reasonable
name and
force.
number?
My name, no. My shoulder number is 158XH.
158XH, and yours
And
is
246.
246XH. And can you explain to me on what grounds I'm being removed?
You're being removed because it's private premises and you've been asked to move by the occupier.
But I'm a patient.
You've been asked to leave.
I'm a patient, though.
Doesn't make any difference.
Yes, it does make a difference. If I'm a patient...
Would you like to leave the entire premises? Out onto the public road, please.
Are you going to arrest me if I don't?
No, I'm going to remove
Right.
you.
What, are you going to physically push me
Yes.
out of here, are you?
I will use reasonable force to remove you from the premises.
I must warn you before you touch me again that I am a registered disabled man.
Which is why I use reasonable
Listen
force
me,
to do
I'm
so.
not- Please do not interrupt me.
I will interrupt you if I wish to interrupt you.
I've had 2 spine operations. I have 4 claims.
Then I would suggest you go to another medical place to get sought treatment.
Well, I'm not allowed to because they won't let me go.
To another medical place.
What other medical place? This is my
Find
doctor's. A private one?
Find one.
How am I supposed to find one when they won't release me from this one?
Would you like to leave, please?
Are you
Please.
you're going to handle it a bit again? Now, if you touch me once more, mate.
What?
Right, this is assault, right?
Would you move off the
This is
premises?
assault.
Right? Would you move off the premises?
Assault. That's my guy's doing my car, thank you. We'll get in your car and right? Alright, I will. From this one. Would you like to leave, please? You're manhandling me again. Now, if you touch me once more, mate.
I'm not finding film, sir. Doesn't bother me.
Everything is.
Doesn't bother me, sir. I've done nothing.
I'm just going to go and take this footage now to see my MP. Thank you. What you've just done is completely illegal. Do you know that?
Do not use the camera whilst driving.
Yeah, it does look a bit draconian, and that the response does seem to be over the top. I've seen that whole video, and I've seen the other videos that you've shot.
I'm just outside the Icke Medical Centre. I'm going to go in there to try and get a referral to see Mr. Nikos Riessis, the man who was paid to operate on my shoulder by David McVitie of Hillingdon Hospital. What should have been a routine clavicle repair, but I later discovered that what he did was an amputation of the distal clavicle. Also, he's removed all the ligaments and part of my subscalpular. In my opinion, this was no accident, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. So here we go. Hello, VJ. Yeah, can I see a doctor, please? No. Sorry? Good. DJ, did you say you was going to have a chat with me?
No, I said take a seat.
I thought you said you was going to come and see me.
I'll take well, we're going to get time. Get the computer on. I've got a problem with the server I've got to sort out, so have a seat or come back later.
So you will talk to me?
Not now. I've got them with you.
Well, how long? Because I've got another... Sorry?
Hours.
Oh, that's all right, I've got all day.
I'll see you.
Medical Centre, how may I help you?
Hello. Hello there, mate. Alright. Well, clearly I'm not very healthy because I've got a collar on my neck due to 4 collapsed vertebrae and a dislocated shoulder because my arm's been disconnected by a dodgy surgeon who I can't get back to see because this man won't give me a referral. This is why I'm here.
This is why you're here?
Yeah, I'd like to know why you're here, though. Why are you here?
We've just been called because there's a
But why?
disturbance. Apparently
Disturbance?
someone's getting verbally aggressive.
Really?
Well, that's what we've been told.
Right, okay.
So what are you going to do today? You want to get a referral?
I'm trying to get a referral to a surgeon
Yeah.
who amputated my clavicle. My right arm is not even connected to my shoulder, mate,
No.
which is causing problems with my neck.
Have you had problems here before?
Only the fact that you lot keep getting called out every time I come down here.
There's been quite a few times now, isn't it?
It's been about 4 times. In fact, 2 times. On the 19th of November, I was actually assaulted by one of your officers. Yeah, which is also on video as well, because I had the camera running in my car. We filmed it all. Right, so I hope that's not going to be a repeat of that today.
So first of all, if you look camera in your car, that's your choice. You're not going to do anything wrong.
Well, I've got to protect myself somehow, mate.
We're not going to do anything wrong anyway. So have you already seen?
No, he won't even see me. He won't speak to me. All I've done is sit in here, ask him if I can see a doctor.
Yeah.
Why can't I see a doctor? And then he's called you out. He called you out before I even spoke, actually.
I was going to say, what was his reason for not seeing you?
Because he doesn't want to see me. Because if he sends me to the surgeon who butchered my shoulder.
Yeah.
Because see, the thing is, the surgeon who butchered my shoulder was just done for malpractice.
Right.
Okay. Now he knew this, but he didn't tell me about it. I've been trying to see this man for nearly 10 years. Right. I've been left in agony. The damage that's done to my shoulder is causing my neck to collapse. Right. This bloke couldn't give 2 hoots what damage he's causing me. Right. I'm registered disabled as well, by the way. So just to let me so you know that, right? Right.
Just know what?
I'm registered disabled, by the way.
Okay.
Because I've had 2 spine operations, I've had 4 knee operations and 2 shoulder operations, all of which have failed. Sorry? I've tried that one and they won't see me either. I've also got a broken rib.
Why not the hospital? Same reason?
Yeah, it's a cover-up, mate. It's called a cover-up. Yeah.
The problem I have here is private property.
Yeah, I know, but so if it's private property, so you're saying trespass? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly.
So why are you here then?
What do you feel?
Well, no, it's about the law. Yeah, your duty. Go on, mate.
The law is that we can act as we can act assessed.
Assessed. So, and what are you seeing here? A bloke, you're seeing a disabled man in a collar, sitting here doing minding my own business. Yes, but if it's private property, then it's a civil matter.
I'm not going to argue with you. You're going to have to leave.
Is that an order or a request?
No, I'm telling you, you're going to leave. I'm going to
Is that an order or a request?
I'm telling you. It's an order.
No, is that an order?
It's a request.
So hang on a minute. So if that's an order. It's a request. So and I do have a right to refuse a request. Yeah. So if that's an order, then I suggest you read my rights and arrest me.
I'm not going to arrest you.
Well, then you can't order me then. Because unless I've broken the law, you're not allowed. You're in no position to give me any orders.
We could use the minimum.
Do you know what about common law?
Yes, I know very well.
Right. Okay. That's what we were supposed. Right. So do you know about statute law?
Yes, I do know.
And statute law is actually
I'm not going to sit here and
it's
argue the
illegal.
law about you. Okay.
Well, you are, because you're a policeman and I'm a member of the public. Your job is to protect and serve the public.
I'm going to ask you nicely to leave, sir.
And if I say no, what happens then?
Then I'm going to assess and remove you.
And you're going to physically assault me again, are you?
I'm not going to assault you. I'm going to use the minimum or maximum force required to get the job done.
Right. For what? For a civil matter?
You can assess. I'm going to keep on over this.
Look, the thing is, I'm here under. This is a human rights situation, okay?
What right? Okay.
My human rights are being denied.
I can take you to the hospital.
Right.
And you left there now if you wanted to.
Yeah, and what they do, will you stay there and wait till they x-ray me and all that?
Okay.
No, because they won't. It's already been
Okay.
done. I was rushed into hospital just 3 weeks ago, right?
Okay.
I was left in there for 3 hours. I can actually show you something, mate, right? Before we go any further, before you even lay a finger on me, I need to show you something, right? There's my broken rib. see the clavicle and that clavicle? Can you see the difference? This one's been amputated, right? I was never told about that.
So you
Right?
weren't told?
No, I had a ruptured clavicle.
Okay. We're not here to discuss it.
Well, I am. That's why I'm here. I wouldn't say,
Why
I'm not here for the fun of it, am
They
I?
don't want you in here.
Yeah, but I know, but they've got no, it's their job. Well, why don't they give me my medical notes, right, release me from this practice so I can go to another doctor?
Right, why don't we ask...
Because they won't.
Right, why don't we ask if they can do that so you can go to another
Because they won't.
How do you
Because
know?
he knows, because if I go to, try it, go on.
Okay, well, yeah, my colleague's asking now, but if we can do that...
He's got me on a violent patient scan for something I haven't done, right, there's no evidence of any violence from me at all, right, but this man is a blatant liar, look at that, look. Right, now look, that's shoulder, that's my shoulder, that's my arm, and that's my clavicle. They're supposed to be connected. Well, they're supposed to be connected.
Right.
Well, can you see it's not? Can't
Yeah,
you? Right.
it's not.
Now this is why I'm here.
Right.
I'm not here to cause trouble.
I can understand why...
I'm a peaceful man, mate.
Is it Stephen?
Stan. I am a peaceful man, you know. I'm just here on a peaceful mission.
You're going to see on there.
You know what I mean, mate? This is a very serious accusation I'm making here. Like, the doctor who did this, right, has just been done. Right? He's just been done for malpractice.
Yeah, I understand.
But he got let off with 15 other charges taken into account. A woman lost her leg because of him.
Okay.
Right?
I understand why you're here. I understand you're angry.
No, I'm not angry.
No, but I understand. But
No, I'm not angry at all, mate.
No, but what I mean is, I can understand. You know, you're upset about being refused medical treatment.
Yeah. Well.
However,
Because
you know, we are asking you to leave.
I know, but I know, but you're not in a. You don't have no authority over me, though.
But we do, because
No, you don't.
although trespassing is a civil matter.
I haven't committed a crime, have I?
You're trespassing.
I'm not.
This is the problem.
I'm not because. Yeah, but I'm a patient.
But we can.
Hang on. I'm a patient here, right? They won't release me to go to another doctor, so I have no option to come in, but other than come here to get my treatment.
What if they do release you to go to somewhere else?
Well, then I'll go to another doctor.
Right.
But they won't release me.
What's the...
Can I just show you something before you hit me, right? See that clamp?
We're not going to hit you.
Well, he's going to grab hold of me. If you touch my right arm, I will do you for assault.
That's fine. You're more than right to do that, but I will grab your right arm if you don't move by yourself. I will grab your right arm if you don't move by yourself. So I've
Well, I need to see a doctor. I want a referral.
Now, grab by his left arm, take him out. Grab by his left arm, take him out.
No, as soon as you touch me, that's assault. The minute you lay a finger on me is assault. You're assault. No, seriously, mate. I do know what I'm doing. We're also being watched by someone else out there, by the way.
We have asked you.
You'll film me. Once you go out that door, as soon as you lay a finger on me, you'll be on film. So you're going to assault. So you're going to assault me.
I'm not going to assault you. I'm going to use as much force as I need to.
And I can use as much resistance as I need to.
Oh, you're fine then.
Right?
We'll just have
So
to use
look,
more force.
look, no. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Just come out.
This is unlawful.
It's not unlawful.
Please, it's unlawful. Stop it.
It's not unlawful.
Stop what you. Can you please leave me alone?
Come on.
This is assault.
That is not assault. We've asked
It is assault. This is assault.
you several times.
This is assault.
We've
Right.
asked you several times to go.
This is assault. This is assault.
It's not assault.
Can I have your name and number?
Yes, you can.
What is it then?
When you get
What's your name and number? Right.
And 823.
Right. What's your number? 823 and
426.
426. Right. You've just both been filmed. Okay.
Right, that's fine.
Right. You've just been done. You're going to get done for assault,
That's
just
fine.
like the other copper did.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. I knew you'd do this. So don't. He's laughing his head off in there. He thinks it's a big joke. All right. Well, I've got an appointment with my MP tomorrow at the Parliament.
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Now this will be shown to him.
That's fine.
All right. Can I take your name? What's that? Unstable Actual. And you are Unstable Christmas. Right. Okay. Well, it's Constable. Sorry, I thought it said unstable. Sorry, mate. Well, that was the second time I've been assaulted in 2 days.
Yeah. Well, it does seem to me that they've been treated completely unfairly at best,
Yeah.
and at worst, It's just like they're trying to get rid of you.
Yeah, well, yeah. They nearly succeeded as well. They tried to get you to kill yourself, and I've tried it a few times thanks to these people. Fortunately, I'm over that period. But yeah, I've come very close to killing myself because of these people. They're monsters.
What would you say to people who believe they're the victims of this when they get treated differently when they go in to see a GP or hospital and they feel that they may have had something put on their record like you did without them knowing it? What would you say to them?
Well, this is it. You don't know at the time. It takes years to find out.
But what would your advice be?
Get copies of your records. Don't speak to these people unless you're recording them. You know, so get yourself a recorder on your phone, whatever, because they will lie. They will. There's no level that they will not stoop down to. Yeah, one of the things that they do to cover up their malpractice, their deeds, in my circumstances, is they've been doctoring my X-rays. I have evidence of X-rays that have been blatantly doctored, i.e., where I've got a shoulder lower. My right shoulder is like 2 inches lower than my left shoulder.
Yeah.
But on my X-rays, they put some sort of a block in there to build it up to make it look like it's normal. I've got doctors telling me there's nothing wrong with my shoulders. If I just want to have a quick look at my X-rays, that's all I'm asking. Is it possible to have a quick look at my X-rays before I go?
What's your name?
Stanley Richardson. Oh my God.
No, that's normal, that's completely normal.
Well, this isn't though, is it? Look at my shoulder.
That's normal. Normal, that's completely normal.
Well, this isn't though, is it? Look at my shoulder.
That's normal.
So he thinks that's normal, does he? Well, let's just take a look at what it would look like if it was normal. That would look normal, even though I've had to overlay the clavicle taken from the other side. You're saying that's normal?
I am telling you that that's normal.
Well, that's been amputated.
I can tell you that this is
You're telling me that hasn't been amputated then?
I am telling you that this is normal. I am a consultant.
Well, I just went and saw a surgeon 2 days ago and he said it's not normal. He said it's not normal.
You have been seen by a doctor.
So you're telling me that's completely normal. So if I get copies of that, you're going to write on it,
yes.
Normal.
Yes. You can have any copy.
Can I have it in writing now then? Can I have it in writing now, before I leave?
The doctor already saw you and the doctor already...
Yeah, but I haven't had any paperwork. I haven't seen the doctor since I first came in. So you're basically telling me that my shoulders are normal?
Yes.
Well then, sorry sir, but you're not telling me the truth, are you?
You can leave now, otherwise...
Well, I won't get my jacket.
Okay, got your jacket.
Right, I see what's going on. Right, okay. Can we show these X-rays that I brought along? Okay, here's an X-ray that was taken on the 12th of July 2011 by Luton and Dunstable Hospital. This is done in order to cover up the amputation that was done to my shoulder. This is the X-ray. Take a good look at the shoulders and you can see that the right one is much lower than the left. Notice how much lower that clavicle is. Not only have they added overlays above both clavicles in order to make the shoulders appear to be the same height, here and here, but they've also cropped it all down this side. In doing so, they've also cropped the metal clip, which is clipped to the X-ray plate to determine left or right. Then they added an alternative letter R with a digital one. See here. But I've managed to expose the fullness of the clip in its entirety. See here. You can see clearly now that the metal clip is fully visible, but still the X-ray remains cropped. This proves without a shadow of a doubt that this X-ray has been doctored. Okay, now let's see what it's like when I remove the overlay which they've added. See, this is what it should look like. And this is with the overlay added. More evidence that's been doctored. so here you can see they've actually done both sides here. So if you look at the skin on top of both clavicles, they've both been built up. And when I remove the overlay, this is a more accurate picture. This is what it should look like. See? Overlay, remove overlay, overlay, and we remove the overlay. This is what the hospitals are doing to our x-rays, people. And I've got at least half a dozen x-rays that have been doctored from at least 5 hospitals. They're all doing it. And I can categorically prove it, which I'm going to do right now. It's important to tell you that this x-ray was taken on the 2nd of February 2009 at Hillingdon Hospital. We'll call this x-ray 1. This x-ray was taken on the 8th of January 2009, 1 month earlier. We'll call this x-ray 2. Okay, so we'll start on x-ray 1, and it just beggars belief what they've attempted to do here. Okay, to start with, there's no way on earth an x-ray technician would have put the right clip over the bone of over the arm like this, unless of course the arm has been digitally moved, which is exactly what they've done, and I'm about to prove it to you. Okay, so I've drawn a red line directly on the ball joint, which is known as the femoral head. Now I'm going to take the same image and flip it over the other side. Okay, so that's done. Now we'll add another red line in the same position, directly under the ball joint. No, that's not right, is it? So what I'm going to do now is add x-ray number 2 and overlay it onto this one. That looks a little bit better, but it's still not quite right, is it? Okay, so now let's put it where it should be. That's more like it. Now let's add the spine just to make sure it's in the right place. That's pretty close. Now let's bring the red line back under the ball joint of the other arm. Perfect. Now you'll notice the red line on the left is overlapping the rib cage, whereas the one on the right is on the outside of the rib cage. See here. And here. Okay, now let's remove that red line to the outside of the rib cage. And then remove x-ray 2 from the picture. Now the red line will be the guide for where the arm should be, which is right there. That bit that's going at an angle where I've pointed it out there, that's actually the clavicle, but it's been hidden, which will become much clearer when I bring in x-ray 2 any second. Now here's x-ray 2 now. Now you can see that clavicle is perfectly lined up. See that? Perfect. Okay, back to x-ray 1. Now we're going to take a look at the top right there, what the arrow is now. That's supposed to be a clavicle, which is my left clavicle, but I've just established that this is my right clavicle, so how can that possibly be my left one up there? Okay, just for argument's sake, let's just say that is my left clavicle there. And surely that would mean there'd be another one here. But all you can see there is a rib which has been manufactured, because it's at 90-degree angle, and you can see the joint mark in it where they've cropped it together. Right, okay, let's bring back x-ray 2, overlaying it. Right, now you can see my left clavicle matches up with the one that I've just said is my right clavicle perfectly. Yeah, okay, so let me just, if I put a ring around it now, there you go. That's what my clavicle, that's it there, look, you see it matching up with the clavicle. Yeah, there it is, it's hidden on that x-ray. It tried to fool me to thinking that I've got a rib cage that doesn't resemble anything near human. Nikos Riessis deliberately destroyed my shoulder, and ever since he's had the NHS covering it up for 13 years. And I've been saying it all along, and now finally I've got the proof. They should all be sent to prison for the rest of their lives for what they've done here.
Some people do say that they have very good treatment out of the NHS, you know. I think maybe what happens is if it goes wrong, then there's a catalogue of events happen, which seems to have been in this case, which starts off, in your case, it started off with misdiagnosis. You know, you could say that they'd misdiagnosed what the problem was, but then it appears to have turned into, you know, negligence.
Yeah. It's like they're protected. See, this particular surgeon, I guess he's a Freemason, right?
Well, we don't know that, but
no, but I think most of them are.
Well, okay, that's your opinion.
So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And they're protecting him.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, you know, they're all protecting
well, there is another case that's going to break soon, which is actually a massive case, and it's been going on for 10 years, and everything that you've told me, this case exposes on a huge scale.
Okay. Right.
But the cover-ups in this case are much bigger and have been completely exposed, and this will come out soon. So it doesn't surprise me what you're saying, and from my own experience of what people have told me and the evidence that they've given me, your case is far from unique.
Right, I broke my rib in November 2009. 6 months later now, where we are now, is April, I'm still suffering immense pain from this fractured rib. But in the last 6 months, I've been misdiagnosed at every single visit to the hospital, and that's a lot of visits I made. For 6 months I was trying to get my rib looked at, and every time they were saying there was nothing wrong with it. So I told a little lie and went to this hospital and said that I'd fallen down a flight of stairs. So after getting some x-rays and some scans done in my whole upper body, I was admitted onto the ward, where I was kept on for 4 days and pumped full of morphine for every 4 hours. There were no problems with any members of the staff during the 4 days. These 4 days were the Easter holidays, when my GP, Dr. Bodily, wasn't in his practice, so he was unaware that I was in this hospital. So on his return from his Easter break, he discovered that I was in this hospital, and in my opinion gave the orders for them to remove me from this practice, from this hospital as soon as possible, which is exactly what happened. And on the 4th day the police arrived to remove me from this hospital. So here's a short clip of what happened when the police were throwing me out. Now here are the reasons why. You are aware I'm registered disabled, are you? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that I'm a registered disabled man?
How would I be aware of that?
Well, they should have told you. They seem to have told you everything else that, you know, what you seem to think. So what about the fact that I am a registered disabled, a blue badge holder? Right? Why would I have all that then if I've got nothing wrong with me?
That's a matter between you.
Oh, it wasn't a minute ago when you were telling me that I had nothing wrong with me.
I've said that from the start. There's a matter between you and the hospital. You think
right, so what are you not doing here then?
Because you're refusing to leave.
Because I haven't been fixed yet. I've been stuck in here since last Friday waiting to get surgery.
Exactly. So you think there's something wrong with you, they don't. Who's explained therefore the matter between you and them?
What have I done wrong?
No, well they have also told us that you have some sort of chronic mental disorder.
Have they now?
Yeah.
Really? But who told you that
so
then?
You've been medically discharged, so I've listened to everything you've said.
No you haven't.
Yes so?
I've got chronic mental disorder, have I?
Yeah, apparently so.
Oh right, what's your name then?
My name's PC Coleman.
Coleman, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Coleman, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, apart from being an angry man with lots of injuries,
yeah.
How are we going to get around this?
By giving me the surgery that I'm in urgent need of.
They're refusing to give you any
why
surgery.
though?
Because you don't need it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
Yes,
and you're sure of that? Would you stake your job on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Abnormal. Okay, so we need to make sure what's going on there. We need to get a CT scan of the neck.
Right.
because you're not quite sure what's happened from the point of view of events, we need to also get a CT, so we're getting a CT scan of the head, the neck, and of the tummy, because we're worried about any sort of injuries in that liver, because you're so tender out here. I'm not going to press, I'm just putting my hand there, which is why we need to check that. Okay. We'll need to get x-rays of the thoracic spine and the lumbar spine. You did quite a significant injury, so...
Have we done that yet?
No, we haven't done that yet.
Oh, what we do?
No, we need to get the CT done first, and then we'll, because these are the more worrying signs.
So what x-rays have you done so far?
We've done the neck, the chest, and the pelvis.
What do they show?
The neck is abnormal. I'm worried that you've got a fracture there. Okay, it's very suggestive of fractures. The chest X-ray looks okay, but this, what we call the diaphragm here, has moved up, which can sometimes be an indication of injury to the liver. So that's why we need to get a CT scan. You can't tell that from an X-ray.
Why do you think I've been in here all week then?
I haven't got a clue. I've never met you
No,
before, so.
no, exactly.
Do you want me to what's
Yeah,
that?
go on then.
Yeah. The medical crew have called us here.
Yeah.
Okay, to say that you've been abusive towards them.
Oh, really?
Right?
There's plenty of witnesses in here that say I haven't.
Listen, I'll explain it to you, but if you keep interrupting me, then I'm not going to explain it.
Go on.
All right. They've called us saying that you've been abusive towards them.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
You've been medically discharged.
Really? Yeah.
Because, because they're saying that there's nothing more they can do for you at this time.
What do you mean by that?
In relation to the injuries that you're saying.
So they're saying, what do you mean? Are they saying
and they've also told us that you have got mental health issues.
I'm asking you, why you found it necessary to bring a riot van?
Because, sir, I'm driving that because there is no other vehicle available for me to drop.
You're supposed to be protecting us, not him. Yeah?
We went to Poland in the summer of 2012. They diagnosed Stan with exactly the complaint that Stan has been saying over the last 10 years, that the doctors here in the UK have been ignoring.
It looks like the NHS has failed you, really, so what are you going to do next?
Well, somehow I've got to try and somehow raise the money to get the surgery, basically, and then I've got to go abroad and have it done, so I wouldn't trust a doctor in this country now as long as I live.
Okay, so where are you going to go for this, Stan?
Well, probably Poland, because it's quite cheap out there, and they're very good out there. The interesting thing about this assessment that I had done in Poland, when I came back to it with this report and showed this to my GP, I requested another referral to the surgeon who did this. Not that I wanted him to touch me, but I wanted to see what he had to say about it. But he refused. Now, I've got a letter, I don't know if you can show this letter, that he wrote back to me to say, he said my GP was trying to contact the surgeon. He wrote back and said that he's tried to contact 5 separate hospitals, right? He named the hospitals. 3 of those hospitals, one of them is the first hospital that I went to, where he was called out to do the second opinion. The second hospital was where he operated on me, the private one. And the third one was where I saw him again for a follow-up appointment. So there's 3 hospitals that my GP knows that he's seen me at. And he stated in this letter that he's phoned all these hospitals, and he said that nobody at any of these hospitals have ever heard of him. He said, if you know where he works, can you please let me know? Well, he works at Watford General Hospital.
And you know that for a fact?
Oh, I know that for a fact. That's where he's based.
So why do you think there's such a mystery, Stan?
Well, it's like they're trying to make it look like he doesn't exist. And also, it's important for me to tell people that although I had all this major surgery done, if you look at my medical records at my doctor's, there's no mention of it. You will not find what I've had done in my medical records. Yes, my whole medical history has been written out. What we're dealing with is not a medical profession, it's a white-coated mafia. That's literally what they are. And the first thing they'll do now as well, if you're in the hospital and you've got the slightest complaint, they'll get the security and they'll throw you out.
Well, this goes for everything. This goes for the courts as well, or any public building, really. If you go into a public building and you make a complaint, you're treated as a radical or a terrorist.
Yeah, sure, yeah. You know, I questioned my X-ray with a doctor, and as soon as I realised he was lying, I said to him, look, you're not telling me the truth here, are you? And he immediately said, right, get out or I'll call the security.
You're not telling me the truth here, are you? Get out.
Well then, sorry sir, but you're not telling me the truth, are you?
You can leave now, otherwise...
Well, I want to get my jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out, otherwise I'll get security.
Yeah.
You know, It's just bang out of it's just totally out of control.
Well, the amount of people that say this override the amount of people that don't say it. And in my experience, and from what I've seen from my research, your case is far from rare. You know, it's this is not a rare occurrence. The very disturbing thing is the Liverpool care pathway is, you know, it's basically changed its name, and obviously people have always been, you know, killed in hospitals. You know, people have died in hospitals, and as a result of negligence. But you are now getting a kind of legalised
culling. They're culling people. I know they are.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it. I've seen it. You know, and I'll say that in public. They are killing people. You know, it's a standard procedure now.
Yes, they've changed the name of the Liverpool care pathway. This is how they're basically dealing with elderly people who go in. But
they don't come out again.
They put DNR on people who go in, sometimes even over 50 now. I've heard this from several sources, which is do not resuscitate.
Just can't trust them.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the reasons I won't go to, you know, I'll avoid these hospitals in this country for the rest of my life now.
What we'd like to do is get somebody on who works within the NHS just to counter that at some point in the future, to put their side of the story. It'd be very interesting when we put these kind of things to them, because I know that the nurses in the NHS, they really want to look after people.
Yeah. I've also, I used to know a woman who trained to be a nurse. She went through all the training and decided against going any further because she said most of the training was all about covering their arses.
Yes.
That's what more time was spent on covering their backs than any...
Dealing with legislation, basically, rather than the patient.
And helping people.
Yeah.
It's not about... Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Stan, for joining us.
We went to Poland in the summer of 2012. They diagnosed Stan with exactly the complaint that Stan has been saying over the last 10 years, that the doctors here in the UK have been ignoring.